The Roman Mass War Grave, Vienna, 2025 black and white photos of mass pits, skeletal remains piled haphazardly. In April 2025, a construction project in Vienna, Austria, stumbled upon a Roman-era mass grave. This wasn't a cemetery, it was a pit of chaos. Over 1,800 years ago, Roman soldiers and gladiators were tossed into this trench. Recent analysis found something truly unsettling: lion bite marks on the human bones. We know the Romans used beasts in the arena, but this evidence suggests a localized massacre, where the animals were used as weapons of execution or were simply left to feast on the fallen during a period of civil unrest. The sheer density of the trauma suggests a level of violence the history books usually gloss over. The Hanging Coffins and DNA Mysteries, China, Indonesia, 2025 high limestone cliffs with wooden boxes wedged into the cracks. Eerie, windswept audio. For centuries, the hanging coffins of the Bo people in China and the Toraja in Indonesia have puzzled the world. Why risk death to haul heavy wooden coffins hundreds of feet up a sheer cliff face? A November 2025 study finally used DNA to bridge the gap. They found that these people weren't just cliff dwellers, they were a culture obsessed with the in-between. By placing the dead between the sky and the earth, they believed they were preventing the soul from becoming a hungry ghost. Seeing hundreds of rotting centuries-old boxes dangling over a river is creepy enough. But the 2025 findings show that many of these coffins contain multiple individuals added over decades, essentially, creating vertical houses of the dead that still watch over the valleys today. The Case of the Missing Pharaoh 2025 update deep scans of the Egyptian desert, blue-hued LiDAR maps. In late 2025, National Geographic and Egyptian authorities teased one of the most anticipated reveals in history: the potential location of the tomb of Nefertiti, or perhaps the lost tomb of Cleopatra near Topaciris Magna. While the tomb itself remains the Holy Grail, the evidence found in the tunnels leading to it is what keeps archaeologists up at night. They found a series of decoy shafts filled with animal mummies and curse tablets. Lead sheets inscribed with pleas to the gods of the underworld to strike down intruders. It's a reminder that these sites weren't built as monuments. They were built as fortresses to keep the living out and the spirits in. The earth never forgets. Montage of the discoveries mentioned. Fade to black with a single candle flickering. Every time we dig, we find that the past wasn't just simpler. It was a place of profound fear, complex ritual, and dark secrets. As our technology improves, we aren't just finding more bones, we're finding the reasons behind the nightmares. As we move into 2026, one question remains. What else is waiting in the dark, just a few feet below the surface? Which of these discoveries did you find the most unsettling? Let us know in the comments. And remember, some things are buried for a reason. Would you like me to expand on the specific anti-vampire rituals found in Poland, or perhaps add a segment about the eerie bog bodies of Northern Europe?
The unquiet, grave-slow drone shot over a misty, desolate archaeological dig site. Close-ups of brushes clearing dirt from a yellowed skull. We like to think of history as a series of dates and names in a textbook, but the Earth has a much darker memory. Beneath our feet lie secrets that were never meant to see the light of day, remains that tell stories of fear, ritual, and things that shouldn't exist. As of 2025, archaeology has taken a turn for the macabre. From vampires pinned to the earth with iron, to child kings buried with the bones of predators, the latest discoveries are proving that our ancestors lived in a world far more terrifying than we imagined. Tonight, we're looking at the creepiest archaeological evidence unearthed, though finally understood as of 2025. The vampires of Europe. Recent Polish and Bulgarian finds pan over a skeleton with a rusty sickle draped over its neck. An artist's reconstruction of a vampire burial. In late 2024 and throughout 2025, researchers in Poland and Bulgaria released new data on what they call anti-demonic burials. Take the case of the pinned vampire. Found with a silk cap indicating high status, this woman wasn't just buried. She was imprisoned. A sharp iron sickle was placed across her throat. The logic: if she tried to rise, the blade would decapitate her. But the creepiest part found in 2025. DNA and isotopic analysis. These weren't monsters. They were often outsiders or the first victims of local epidemics. The creepy factor isn't just the skeleton, as the realization of how quickly a community can turn on its own out of pure, supernatural terror. The Maya death mask and the rolling skull. Belize. 2025 Jungles of Belize. Arlen and Diane Chase's excavation footage. Shimmering jade pieces being assembled. Deep in the jungles of Caracol, Belize, a discovery in early 2025 sent shivers through the archaeological community. Archaeologists Arlen and Diane Chase uncovered a 1,700-year-old royal tomb, likely belonging to the founder of a Maya dynasty, Tequeab Chok. Inside, the scene was a nightmare of red and green. The tomb was coated in cinnabar, a toxic bright red mercury, but the most disturbing detail, the bones of an elderly man were found with his skull resting inside a pottery vessel, separated from his body. Next to him lay a shattered mosaic death mask, made of jade and shell. Was this a ritual decapitation after death, to contain the king's power, or a grim message to those who dared to enter?